Okay, when you're dividing a polynomial by a monomial, so we have a polynomial, we have a couple things like this, and then we have a monomial, which is just one term. So we separate the terms, recall, from the plus and minus signs. So this one has 1, 2, 3 terms. So when you're trying to divide these, we're going to take the polynomial, 6x to the 7th, z to the 6th, and then we're going to divide that by this monomial, which is negative 2x to the 3rd, z to the 5th. And then we'll take the second one. Now I'm putting a plus because there's a plus sign here. 11x to the 5th, z to the 7th. And I'm going to divide it by the same thing, negative 2x cubed, z5. And then I have another plus sign, which is this one, plus 14x5, z3. And I'm going to divide it by negative 2x cubed, z5. So now we just have to simplify this. So if I look at the first terms, I have these two numbers, negative 6 and 2. So negative 6 divided by negative 2 is simply going to be 3. Then if I look at these two values, x to the 7th over x to the 3rd, I just subtract the exponents. So 7 minus 3 is x to the 4th. Now remember, if it's a negative exponent, then it will jump to the bottom. But it does not look like any of these. Well, there's one like that, but not too many. Z to the 6, z to the 5. 6 minus 5 is z to the 1st. So that is my first term simplified. Now my second numbers are 11 over negative 2. Now 11 over negative 2 doesn't divide, so I'm just going to make this minus 11 over 2. You could make it 5.5. I'm not sure if Alex would take that, but that is acceptable as well. I have x to the 5th over x to the 3rd, so I subtract the exponent, so I get x squared. And then z to the 7th over z to the 5th, 7 minus 5 is z squared. Same thing for the last one. I have 14 divided by negative 2. 14 divided by negative 2 is negative 7. So the plus negative just becomes a minus. X to the 5th, x to the 3rd. I subtract those exponents, I get x squared. Now here's the interesting one. I have z3 and z5. Well, 3 minus 5 is negative 2, but it will not take a negative exponent. So the key is, if you have more in the bottom, like we do in this case, I'm going to subtract 5 minus 3, but I'm going to put my answer in the denominator. So I'll put z squared. So this is true of anything. If I were to have y to the 8th over y to the 10th, then this would simplify to y squared on the bottom. In this case, nothing would be left on the top, so we just put a 1. So our final quotient is 3x to the 4th z minus 11 over 2, x squared, z squared, minus 7x squared over z squared.